Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CDL podcast channel. In this episode today, you can see it on the screen if you're watching the video forms. We're doing our bowl predictions for the season, a yearly tradition. And then we're going to kind of talk about what a successful season looks like for each team. If you guys enjoy this one, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. Um, we were planning potentially tomorrow to do a process reaction. And then I think plans that might be chalked in terms of just a single upload because Roger tweeted that it's going to be 3 hours long. So, uh, not the most friendly upload time. I mean, we're talking about what we could do. I don't know if we're 100% going to make content on it. Maybe like a next week in the pod, we kind of talk about it or something without reacting. Uh, Something like that. Or we potentially stream it. Problem is Brock's moving this week, so time's pretty limited for Brock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get they made it long, but 3 hours is kind of tough uh, in terms of making content around it because 3 hours is going to be even more because when we're reacting, you're going to pause at certain moments to talk about it, and like it's probably like 3.5 hours minimum on upload. That's a crazy upload time, like
Yeah.
insane to sit down because I mean, like anybody that's watching that probably already watched the process or something, and it's like, yeah, it'll either be a live stream or we'll just talk about it next week because that is an insane
Yeah.
time.
Love to see if you're a fan of, COD. It's
Oh,
that long.
yeah, it's gonna be an awesome watch. Like it's gonna be a full on movie. It's gonna be incredible to watch. But yeah, it's a in terms of making content around it, like any like streamer, like you like your Zuma, your Scump, anybody in OpTic, any COD streamer, like any pro that wants to sit down and watch it, it's for a stream, it's awesome because it literally like it gives you damn near a whole stream. You can sit down at your setup for 4 hours and just watch it. It
Yeah.
gives you like a perfect stream. Like I wish it was coming out on like Friday or something because we're gonna as long as Brock's all moved in and stuff and it feels ready to do it, like Brock might stream his camo grind and it'd be like a perfect thing of like when you're waiting for the game to go live, you could just like react to it on stream. Like it'd be a perfect thing for
Yeah.
that, but it comes out kind of early in the week, so that's unfortunate. I wish it was coming out on like Friday or something. Or Thursday
Mhm.
night, I guess,
Same.
technically.
Yeah.
Um, but we got bold predictions today. This is Brad's first time dropping bold predictions. We usually like try to go back if there's anything crazy because it's kind of funny sometimes to see how wrong you were. Also, like,
Mhm.
because you may feel like Brad may feel really strongly about a team that ends up sucking, or he may feel like a team is going to suck that ends up being really good. Or it's funny to go back and look because like some of these are so off, and then like some of them are so right. The one we always talk about is that one year, whatever it was, Cold War. No, not Cold War. Space dominated that. Vanguard. There was one game where I was just like, yeah, I think four different teams are gonna win all four majors. It's just gonna switch every time, which never happens, and then that happened. And uh
Yeah.
like you always get a lot of weird bowl predictions that go through, and like we need to baptize Brad into the bowl prediction episode and have him go first, I think, Brock.
I'm down.
Brad.
All right,
Oh
Brad, what you
god.
got?
And these we don't
My
really
f
have like a for those that are first time watching, we don't really have like a it has to be this bold. Like it may not even be something like too crazy, or it might be something like absurd. And like
Mhm.
obviously it also kind of depends on like who's saying it, how bold they believe it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like I may be way higher on a player than Brock is. So if he says that player is going to be
Mhm.
top five, I might be like, well, yeah, he is top five, but Brock may be like way lower on him in general. So it's kind of eye of the beholder kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, Brad. See it.
Am I giving all of them or just one?
Just give one for now.
Okay. My first one, for those of you that have been listening since I joined, no, I love this guy. Probably my favorite
Beans?
player in the league. Nope, definitely not. Um, I think that in BO7, Rancor is going to take another step forward, and I think he's going to finish top three in MVP, if not the MVP of the league.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, where was he last year? Where did was he? 'Cause they don't. Did they even release? I don't remember if they released it. They released it last year. Like, who was the? Because remember they used to release like here's the top five,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they would release like here's the top three, then here's the MVP. Did they even release that last year? Yeah, they did. They said who the finals were, but I think it was only three because it
I
was
believe
what
so.
scrap. No, it might have been five. Look it up. I forget. It's been too long. Uh, Brock,
Mhm.
do you give it? While I look this up and see if I can find it. You What are your thoughts on Brad's first prediction?
Um,
Yeah, Brock.
I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. I could definitely see Rancor taking another step, and becoming an MVP caliber player. I mean, kind of was towards the end of MVP caliber player last year, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, I can't find what like the finalists were for MVP or anything. I don't know why I can't find anything. I obviously I know who won it, but where 2025 MVP and Rookie of the Year nominees on Breaking Point? Is this it? Oh, this is the Breaking Point Awards. So they had their MVP list as Scrap, Shotzzy, Merc, Hydra. But again, that's for the season, and they released that like after champs. Obviously, like
Yeah,
Merc didn't have a chance to win it pre-champs because they hadn't even won an event or anything. Like Shotzzy wouldn't even be in it either. But I don't. Okay, here's what I'll say about that, Brad. I think Rencor has the ability to be in the MVP race. I just don't think Heretics are going to be good enough for him to be considered. That's my thoughts on it. I
Yeah,
think
that is
Ren.
putting a lot of faith on Trakes.
Yeah,
If Trakes can play well, with any semblance of Real, um, I think Rancor has a shot. But then again, it is depending on Trakes. And
I
if Trakes is good, I think that directly will correlate with how the Heretic season will be. Just because, I mean, I'm pretty confident in Rancor's ability to perform and be able to put up good numbers and help the team win. But I think Trakes is the X factor for the Heretics.
yeah. My other thing is I don't think anybody's ever won an MVP without winning an event, and I just don't think Heretics are going to win an event. I can't see it. So I I don't know because what
require a lot.
yeah, they have to because like yeah, you got usually like the person wins multiple events, but what like MW19 shottzyy one of and also MVP voting happens before champs as well. So like that and as it should because like otherwise whoever wins champs MVP would just be the season MVP every single time because it's the biggest event.
Yeah.
But uh
hmm
it's what like in MW19 shottzyy won multiple events. He wins MVP. Cold War, obviously we know Simp. They win like everything. Uh
Mhm.
Vanguard, who won MVP in Vanguard? Celium? And
I
So
think so,
that
yeah.
would be the only case then, because they never won an
bunch of
event.
seconds.
A ton of seconds. So then you go into what
Hydra,
MW2 Hydra and they win everything. Uh MW3 was who won MW3? Shotzzy? No. Who was the MW3 CDL MVP? I'm blanking.
Wasn't it Hydra?
No, he was
no
MW2. I'm blanking.
simp.
I thought it was
Simp?
Hydra or Scrap.
It was
I think
Simp.
it was
Was it
simp.
Simp?
I was gonna say
Simp
it was
won
Simp, but
MW3?
that felt yeah, that felt wrong. But it was Simp again. Um, and then obviously we go
Top dog.
into last year where Scrap won it. So yeah, the and Scrap won events, Simp won events in MW3. So yeah, so that would be your case, Brad. Is he would have to have a lead the league in KD and get second at every event, basically like Celium did, because that would be the only
Just
case.
just be the surge from last year.
So I guess that I mean there is like a path, more of a path than I thought, because I thought that every MVP ever had won an event, but I guess technically not because Celium did win an event in Vanguard.
Couple seconds, that'll help you.
Yeah, second at like damn near every major, basically.
Yeah.
um, I don't hate it though. I think the player has the ability. I just question his team. Brock, you want to list one of your first ones?
Oh yes,
Brock always comes up with something crazy.
I do. I feel
Dude, was that
crazy.
MW3? I think Brock said Arcitys MVP.
I think you're probably not wrong.
I think Brock said Arcitys MVP. That's one of those like classic, like, yeah, that one might have aged really poorly.
I know one year I said Doug Spencer Martin's gonna be on a starting roster or something like that. All right,
Doug on a starting roster.
let's go with a easy one. I said someone from challenges will win the Rookie of the Year. So probably a team making a change, pretty quickly.
Okay, so like so no players starting the year on a team.
Yes.
trying to look through. I have like the roster mania site that we'll have up on the screen a little bit when we're doing our other activity. But like, so who are the other options? You got Trakes would be an option.
Praise Mamba.
Legend. Abe would technically fit because he didn't play anything besides EWC. So Legend and Abe
Mhm.
on Surge would be an option. Craze and Mamba, like you mentioned. And and Lurks. Lurks on Royal Ravens also technically. So Craze
Mhm.
Mamba, Lurks, Legend, Abe, Trakes, I think, are the other rookies. Somebody from
Yeah.
Challengers gonna win.
Yep.
I
Don't
like
have a
that.
name at the moment, but
I was
we'll
just about to
see.
ask if you had anybody in particular.
Yeah, I mean,
Encourage, that one guy.
is he even
Cracked.
playing?
I thought he's playing
Yeah,
again.
I know he retired because he was like, "I'm not getting a chance. I didn't get in the league," and he was like 19. And it was his first half season in Challengers.
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, you literally didn't even play a full season of Challengers." Yeah,
I believe he's playing again.
I don't know. I like it because it's not like it's unheard of. Like last year, and Mercules had a pretty good chance to win it. It just like Rencor was just having one of the best
The
seasons,
year.
if not like rookie years. He was having an amazing season, not even just for rookies. Like he was one of the best players in the league last year. Like
Yeah.
Mercules, the way he like took the league by storm, he potentially could have been like a midseason pickup that was rookie of the year in a lot of seasons if Rencor wasn't having just such a consistently good season.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. How do you feel about that, Brad? Because I think like I like it because there always is some random guy that comes in from challengers and is a beast. But I just think,
There's a lot more rookies of the year this year than last
Yeah.
yeah,
year.
that's what I was gonna say. Is like between Craze and Mamba, and even like Legend and Abe, who has a little bit of experience. I feel like Abe has an upper hand because he played a
Mhm.
little bit and like a high pressure pro tournament, and he's still going to be considered
Yeah.
a rookie because he only played that one event. So I think Abe has an
Yeah.
upper hand. I like it, but I think there are like so many rookies that are not in like Craze is going to be like built around as a superstar in his team. Like Mamba is playing with some good veteran players where like he might be able to step in and play pretty well right away. I don't know. I feel like the rookie of the year is in the league, but again, like nobody would have seen Mercules coming for it last year, though he didn't win it. Like nobody would have seen that coming, and he made a good case for it. Like out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, for real.
Brad,
I'm Brock. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it's really likely to happen. Just because,
Same.
like what Ryan said, there are a lot of rookies. I feel like in this year, like in this the start of this season. And I just and like Ryan said, a lot of the rookies are highly touted. And I don't know per se because they are on the lower tier of teams. I don't know if they're going to get dropped either. And so I don't know. Like obviously, Mercules I feel like is an anomaly, and I mean, what he did is insane, and I don't see another. I mean, obviously, prove me wrong, but I don't see another guy coming into the league like that. Um, I think it's gonna be one of the guys in the league right now. That's on a team.
so like I feel like we just don't hear about the next crop of players as much as we used to, Brock.
Right.
Like way back in the day, like we were like for years we were hearing like Simp and Illy and
Shotzzyy.
Dashy and
Plays
Shottzyy, and
clean.
not I guess not as much Shottzyy just because he was in Halo, like kind of made a
Yeah.
hard transition, but like mostly like Illy and Simp and Turnup and
Yeah.
like
Mm.
Blast and Dashy and Cellium. We were hearing
Mhm.
all these guys' names for years in the S&D community, and I think it's just yeah, I think it truly goes back to just the S&D community dying and GBs
Yep.
dying and all that stuff kind of just dying out because like that was where you would always hear all the pros were playing and they would always be like, dude, this kid is like he's either cheating or he's
Mhm.
next up. Like Killa always thought Illy was cheating when he wall bounced across fringe. Like I feel like we
Yeah.
just like we don't hear as much about the next crop of players. So when Brad's like, where is it coming from? It's like honestly, I don't know because we don't hear about them that much anymore. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
unless you're really deep into challengers, it's not just like I was never super into challengers or like watching like the S&D scene, but like if you were interested in competitive COD, you couldn't not hear about Illy and Simp and all these guys back in the day. Like they were always talked about by the pros. Even
Yeah.
TJ when
I
he was coming
also
up. Remember
think
how big of a pickup TJ was in World War II? It was like a
Yeah.
huge deal that Rise picked up TJ because it was like, oh my god, TJ's finally 18. He can like play respawn. It was a huge deal, and he was a beast that year. Like he
Hmm.
got on an OpTic offer the next year because of how good he was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Brad?
I also feel like with like the open brackets, kind of going to the wayside, I also feel like that affects our ability to kind of like see the next upcoming crop
Yeah.
because like we never because obviously in the S&D community like these young guys were going up against established pros.
Mhm.
Whereas like now we never really see that. Like maybe we'll see like some challengers play with some pros in like scrims or whatever, or
Yeah.
like eights or whatever. But like we never really get like exposed to those younger guys like we used to, I feel like.
That is actually very true. Like you would never really see those challenger teams or like those open bracket teams like win many matches, but like you would potentially see somebody like go off, and you could clearly
Mhm.
tell they were a step above that open bracket, and it was like okay, we got to get this guy in the league. So it was an easier way, and that's dude. I was having this argument on Twitter with somebody, and they were like telling me like they didn't understand what I was saying. This was during the season last year. And I was like talking to a brick wall because the dude didn't understand that. Like, I wasn't saying I want open brackets. He was like, well, the teams suck. They're never going to win. And I was like, yes, I'm agreeing with you. But I want these teams to play because then you'll have the players and challengers that are clearly better than the other ones. Like a Mercules would stand out in these matches because he's clearly a step above a lot of the challengers players. And you'll
Right.
see him start to fry some pro players, and it'll be like, oh, we need to pick that guy up. And again, like if the CDL had a higher budget and teams had a higher budget, they could have better scouting departments that would identify that earlier. But the reality of it is, there's not a ton of money in these organizations, and they don't have full scouting departments like a sports organization does to go look
Yeah.
at that level below for talent. But like when those open bracket teams are able to play the pro matches, you can you get an eye on them as they're playing pros, and like you can see like who's holding their own and who looks like they're kind of tapped out at the challengers level, like who looks like
Mhm.
they maybe don't have what it takes to make it in the pro league. So like that's why I want the open bracket. And like I've had this argument with so many people, and like I remember the one that I was talking, the guy I was talking to on Twitter last year was like, "Well, the teams are never going to win, so who cares? Like, why do we want to see
Yeah.
more bad matches?" And I'm like, "No, you're missing the point. I don't want to see all these teams like." I don't want to see it as much for the matches. I want it because it gives us the best chance to have the best league. Because those
Mhm.
top challenger players are going to get noticed earlier, then get in the league faster, so we don't have players sticking around for 6 years too long. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Like
Agreed.
to me, like the open brackets are very similar to like a spring training when like these
Yeah.
ball clubs bring up their top prospects and if they can handle major league pitching, then maybe they get a chance on the
Mhm.
roster. And I feel like it's very similar to that, whereas like we want to be able to see that possibility of these young guys. Because like how like I guarantee you none of us heard of oh not none of us, but a very small percentage of us never heard of Mercules before he got his chance with Toronto and
Yeah.
then he popped off, and then he got his opportunity with OpTic, and the rest is history. I don't know. I agree with you. I think open brackets are great, and kind of allows us to get more of a hand, like allow us to get the next, oh my god, this guy is really really good, like that happened with Simp and Illey and all those
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah. I like it because again, like in sports, you have a full scouting department to look at like the college level and every level that you need to. Overseas, if it's like a sport where they have overseas leagues, like you have all these scouts that's literally their entire life and job is to like identify that. And COD,
Yeah.
we just don't have the budget for these teams to be constantly scouring challengers in college COD and looking for talent. So like you need to like throw it in their face for them to be like, okay, that guy's good. Like, because
Yeah.
obviously, like, if these teams had advanced scouts, Mercules would have been picked up before the season last year. Like,
Yeah.
because the second
100%.
you watch that guy in challengers and stuff, you can see like, oh, he's got a lot of talent. Like, I don't know. Should I go spicy for my first bold prediction, or should I do a tame one first?
Go bold.
All right, Sim's gonna win the MVP, third MVP.
Ooh.
I
Brandon's
think
like, nope.
so. I think it's
Sorry,
bold
Steve's dragging him
because
down.
I don't think he's on a top two team. And like, if anybody were to, obviously like Simp winning an MVP, he's won two of them. Cold War
Yeah.
and MW3, like that's the most MVPs of all time, right? I don't think anybody else has won two in the CDL era.
Nope.
So like season MVPs, we're talking like it's the most all time in the CDL era. So obviously, like in terms of like the player, it's like okay, Simp's one of the greatest of all time. That's not bold, but I think it is because this year, like I think if you ask any CDL fan who's going to win the MVP, they're not trying to be bold. They're picking somebody from OpTic or Thieves. Like,
Yeah.
because usually, especially in COD, the MVP is going to come from one of the top two teams. And in all likelihood, OpTic and Thieves are going to be winning. One of those two is going to win the most events. of the 4 majors, in all likelihood, one of those teams is winning 2 or more. Would you guys agree with that? So,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
leaves, probably, from Thieves, it's probably not gonna be Kenny because numbers-wise, the other guys are probably gonna have better numbers, but it's probably gonna be Hydra, Scrap, or a BZ.
Yep.
It leads me to believe probably not Scrap just because voter fatigue, they probably don't wanna give somebody back-to-back, so it's probably Hydra or a BZ on Thieves. On OpTic, you're probably looking at Mercules or shottzyy. Like, those are the 4 guys everybody's looking at for MVP. I think if FaZe is able to win an event, though, and Simp has really good numbers, I feel like a FaZe event win, just looking at the roster and what people think of them compared to OpTic and Thieves, I feel like if he's especially able to win, a late event, if FaZe is able to win Major 3 or 4 and Simp has a consistently good year, I feel like he has a chance to win it. If they win Major 1 and kinda, get a bunch of top 4s, I feel like he probably has no chance. But, I don't know. I feel like the odds on him to win MVP are probably pretty low. It'd be I feel like it's a good bet because I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty bold.
I like it. I just feel like people, are gonna overlook him because his team's not supposedly that great this
Yeah.
year.
Who do you think would be
Yeah,
the favorite for
who's
MVP
up?
this year? If you had to go to a sports book, who do you think they would have as the favorite?
Hydra.
I think they would have Mercules because I think there's just so much hype behind him.
I'd say Merc.
Yeah, I think it'd be Mercules
Merc
and then Hydra.
shottzyy.
I'd say it'd be Merc, Hydra, shottzyy, then Scrap. That'd
Yeah.
probably be my order of what I think because in all likelihood, it's going to be one of the players from those teams. And if you actually told me life on the line, who would I bet? Probably Hydra would be my pick for who I actually think is going to win it. But I don't know. I feel like there's a world where Simp does. Let's just
Like
snake
it.
draft it. I want to say one more quick. This is kind of a weird one, and it's not that major as to what happens in the season. But both minors will be won by non-OpTic or LAT teams. I think the minors are going to be won by
That's
some
fun.
random teams, because they happen during Major 3 and 4. Teams are going to be a little bit more tuned up, and I think other teams are going to be a lot more desperate to win those. We know OpTic and Thieves. I think they're going to be in a good spot in the standings, and do they care that much about online? I feel like they might be trolling a little more, and there's going to be teams that are more desperate. I think some random
Yeah.
teams are going to win both minors, not named OpTic or LAT.
I like it. Like
Watch 'em
Boston
both
Breach,
beat
maybe.
FaZe.
Hell no. I think Ultra, FaZe, Gentlemates, or how about these two for just something spicy? Surge or Falcons? Miami, I guess sure. Throw Miami in there for Brad. I don't think so though.
They ain't winning shit this year.
All right, buddy.
Let's kick it back to Brock for another bold prediction.
All right. We're talking about
itching to go, look at him.
MVP conversation. I think my boy, had a
Yeah.
good year last year. Joe Deceives is gonna win MVP this year, and Ultra are gonna win an event or two.
I feel like that's exact same boat as Simp, kind of same level. I feel like their teams are kind of roughly on the same level. They're that third, fourth, fifth team, both of them. Joe
Mhm.
is probably the best player in his team, just like Simp is probably the best player on his. I feel like those are kind of same but different, Like
Yeah,
I feel like Ultra needs the exact same thing as FaZe does to happen in order for Joe to win MVP. They need to win Major 3 or 4 and get top 4 in all the others. And Joe needs to just fry. I think I like it. It's the same vibes as Simp, and I'll always get down for some Joe support. I love Joe. You and I have been on the Joe train
the
since he
Joe
was losing every match in LAG.
since the days of LAG.
Yeah, we've been on the Joe train for longer than anybody has.
Yeah.
All right, Brad.
Ready for my bold prediction?
Brad looks. This is gonna be either the dumbest thing you've ever heard or the craziest thing. Cause look at his face.
I don't
See ya,
think it's that
Brad.
crazy. Okay, my bold prediction is that the Surge keep their team throughout the whole year, no roster changes, and by Major 3 and 4, the Surge will finish top 4 and win one.
Okay, that was creepy because I don't have a good way to pull it up right now, but I'm literally one of mine says Surge will keep their roster all year and be a wire to wire top 16. That was one of my bold predictions that I had written down. I don't think they're
Damn.
going to win an event. I will say that I don't think they're going to win an event, But I literally have written down as like an honorable mention section because I didn't think it was crazy bold. Like saying somebody's gonna be top 6 all year isn't like crazy bold. But I said Surge will keep their same roster all year and be a wire to wire top 6 team, like sneaking in a couple top 4s. Because I feel like that's bold because I think if you ask the general community, they probably think they're gonna miss champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is weird though, Brad. I almost had that exact thing. Without that, I don't think they're gonna win an event. I think that part's really
I,
weird.
I think just by 3-4 by a major 3-4, I think that this team will kind of have it figured out. I think Legend will be fully not fully, but I think he'll be acquainted enough where this team's talent can really show. And I think by 3-4, I think they'll be perennial top 4, a top 4 team. And I also think, I think they'll make a run for one of 3 and 4.
Their top 4 though, like who are they bumping out of the top 4 to be there? Because like right now, we probably like for the most part, like you have some combination of OpTic, Thieves, FaZe, Ultra, or Gentleman's probably in your top 4. It's like what
I think they
2
bump out phase.
teams you think they bump? Well, they bump out FaZe and they're in there, and
And then I think Gentlemates will still be in there. But Ultra, I think they probably boot out Gentlemates.
I just don't know how they boot out to be like considered unanimous like top 4. I just don't see them. Gentlemates I can see because I have a little more questions about that team. But,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. Like Draza and Simp have been in a top 4 team for how long? And 04 and Abuza are
Ever.
coming off being second place at every event last year. Like,
What were they without Neptune?
I mean, they have Simp now. Like,
Yeah, but Abuza's kind of buns, dude.
okay, like I don't know. Like I look at
He's
those
still a
two.
gimmick.
They were second in every event last year, and Simp is an undisputable upgrade over Neptune, and
True.
Draza is an indisputable upgrade over Nasty.
Eh,
Draza's
yeah.
better than Nasty.
Yes, he
I love
is.
Nasty. Nasty's a great player, but Draza's better than him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't agree that they bump up phase. I do like them a lot. I just think the winning an event is crazy because, like, I like Lunars. I
Said
think he's
bold.
talented, but, like, Abe and Gwyn, like, I've seen enough of Gwyn not winning. I think he can, but I just think there's, like, I agree. It's bold and I love it, but I don't know. I don't see them. I don't see the winning an event part. There are a
Legend's
few
gonna be
teams that are
godlike,
way
I guess.
outside the winning realm that I could see. I don't know. I love the Surge. I mean, I had them on one of my predictions as they're going to keep their roster and be a wire to wire top 6. But
I don't hate it.
I was excited for that one.
I don't hate it. I think you just went for the bold part and the winning. I can't get all the way on board there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fire another one, Brad.
Fire another one?
Yeah.
Beans will win MVP from Brad.
I would love that. That would be scenes if
Oh my
Beans won the
God.
MVP. I would love that.
That
he
would
says
be
Shadow
that would
Brad.
be electric. That'd be content. That would be content.
It would.
I would love that.
I think my third bold prediction is that Jailmates comes out shooting and they make the grand finals in the first major.
I don't think that's crazy. I think that's doable. I think that's a bold
Yeah.
prediction I can get on board. Like that, I think that could happen.
I like that one, Brad.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question related to coming out shooting. Like, there's one team every year, at least one team, where they come out. It was Ravens last year, and they're like top 4, and you kind of just like Brock and I feel like it's what happened with the Breach last year when they kind of like were good online. And remember, Brock, I got roasted. This was before Brad was in the pod. I got roasted in the comments for having Breach getting knocked out top 8. And granted, I was wrong because they got knocked out in last, not top 8.
Yeah.
Like I was like this whatever 5 and 2 or like whatever it was. They had a really good online split in stage 1, and I was like, this is fake. Like Boston are not this good, and I had them winning one match and getting knocked out top 8. And then I was like, some like people in the comments were like, that's like such a faded take. Like Boston's so good. How could you say that? And I'm like, every year in COD, there are a couple teams who are a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of game knowledge, and you just kind of know it's fake. Like,
Yeah.
And I knew that about Boston. I was like, they're going to finish top 8. And then everybody was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I was like, yeah, you guys are right. Actually, they were worse than I thought. They finished top 12. Like,
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
That,
who
that
do you
was
guys think is like the prime candidate for that? Like somebody that's going to come out shooting right away and look really good, but it's going to be like, hang on, guys, like we've seen this
back
story
it up.
before. Like, I think it's going to be Minnesota
Yeah, that's right. That's who. That's when I was looking through the rosters. That's who I thought of immediately was G2.
because they have that level of talent where it's like they aren't bad. Like Cramp and Estriel are solid players. Skies is a solid player. I think Mamba's really talented. Like they have enough where it's like they have enough talent where they could be good, and I feel like a Skies team is going to be a quick learn, and
Mhm.
like they're going to come out firing, and then I think they're going to settle into like a fringe top 8, like be fighting for
Yeah,
champs. I feel like they're a team that could be like that.
G2 does
Could be
look like
breach
that
again.
team.
Could be breach again.
could be.
Ravens.
Watch it be C9.
Ravens is interesting because they're a team that I feel like would maybe have a lower learning curve, just having like craze and lurks, new players. The Ravens would be interesting if they come out firing because they will be a candidate for like people saying they're fake right away just because of the players. But then also at the same time, all of a sudden, let's say craze and lurks are like next up. Who knows? Maybe they're actually better than we thought. Like,
The godlike.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't know. That's always fun though because we're gonna talk about it when the first matches hit. Like, there is always a fake team or two that look like. Remember, we were literally people, and I was all over Ravens too because I just wanted them to be good. But like us included, like there was a lot of talks of like it was pretty hard to argue Ravens weren't top 4 for a little bit, which is
Yep.
crazy thinking like back on it because they fell off like so hard.
They were so good that first split, and then they were the favorites too against Heretics, and they lost for that top 3
Yeah,
first event.
they were like the favorites, and yeah, and then they were just like a hard fall off, and like they were a team that made champs simply because of a good start.
Yep.
mhm.
Remember what was it like? Every event they'd play LAT and just get absolutely rolled.
Yeah, 3-0 like
Yeah,
3 times in a row or
they
something
kept
like
they
that.
kept playing LAT at like every LAN.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that. I think it's a good take that I can it's like bold enough because like I would say like there are a few teams that are obviously OpTic and Thieves are like the favorites to make the first
Yeah.
finals, but like I don't like if you were to tell me Gentlemates were to make it, that's bold, but I also wouldn't like think it's like crazy. They could definitely make it.
Mhm.
Um Rock, you want to throw one out or have me throw one out? I feel like
I'll throw it.
we can move
I'll
on to our
throw one
next
out.
segment so we can just like rapid fire whatever you have left.
Oh, I got 2 I want to say at least, and then I
Okay.
can wrap it up. First one I said C9 will make champs just like Boston kind of did last year.
Okay.
You know, the
Bold.
online splits.
They There I don't know, there's a world, like, they have enough veteran players that, like, they could just scrape together enough points for, like, an 8th. Like, Afro can
Yeah.
shoot his gun, Mac and Vivid can shoot their gun, Beans, they can hold their own and shoot their gun, and, like, the one thing they have going for them is they're veterans, like, they could piece it
Mhm.
together enough with teamwork to get 8th. I don't think it's crazy, crazy.
I
I
like
like it.
that one. And then my last one, I said I said LAG mates, general mates will finish first in the regular season standings.
Wow. Your boys.
We're going to the top this year.
Rock, this is
Big
probably
four
the most
squad.
hope as an LAG fan you've ever had going into a season.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The best players we ever had
Yeah.
going. My
I
fandom.
I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility. Like Penny's teams tend to go through like a stage where they struggle. Optic, the champs curse is potentially alive and well. Like teams after champs maybe don't do as well. Like Gentlemates, I think will be like a top 4 team, so they sneak out like obviously like them finishing first in the regular season standings. That means they're probably gonna have to win at least an event.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy crazy though. Definitely not the favorite, but any other ones you want to fire off?
Um, I'll keep. I got one more. I had 2, but I'll keep that one off. That
Hmm.
was that's too bold. So I said this kind of contradicts what that rookie of the year when I said earlier, but whatever. I said Legend will be in the MVP conversation by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean that one's really bold, obviously, because this is his first time playing COD. But yeah, if he's in the MVP conversation, he's probably most definitely
When
rookie of the
rookie
year.
year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to end with whatever you said was too bold to even put on the list. Just I want to just hear what you wrote down just to hear it. But I'll fire off a couple one I had. One kind of off the legend piece. I had just like these are just random ones, maybe not too bold, but they were just things I wrote down as brainstorms. I said we're going to see another Halo Pro picked up mid-season. Another like Halo Pro's gonna get on a roster. I have no idea who it is. But I thought that was kind of like there. I think there's gonna be so many
Formal?
Halo Pros that at least try. Maybe one will
Yeah,
stand out. I wish it was formal, but
we
uh,
can only hope.
he doesn't even really count because I don't even consider him a Halo Pro. He's
We
just
hope hopefully he gets gets a little too bored and comes back.
yeah. I just don't think he will. Unfortunately, um,
Yeah.
I had Falcons will roll swap before stage one is even finished. Uh, Kismet and Exnid.
Yep.
I just think Exnid and Pred is going to be turtle pace on the map. Pred's already
Yeah.
slow. I think Exnid likes to bait a little bit. Like he can move, but I think he likes to bait. I just think I don't know how well they fit together, and I think Kismet can set pace and help Pred a lot more. We've seen Exnid be flexing it a little bit before already. Like
Hmm.
I think they're gonna roll swap. If not before major one, I think before stage two is even over, when we get to the major, those two roll swap. Kismet's on a sub, Exnid's on a flex. I had the Surge one Brad talked about. I said LAT is gonna win 3 majors and champs. The Cold
Yeah.
War phase year.
Like that.
And the other one I had just on the list was we're going to see six or less teams change rosters this year, unless there's like some like not including unforeseen circumstance. Like I don't count like oh this guy's visa is messed up as
Oh
like
yeah.
like legit roster changes because we counted last year 8 teams made roster changes and I feel like well over half the league changes every year like mid season. So I think like
Hmm.
I think the teams that will not change: OpTic, Thieves, Phase, Ultra, um, Gentlemates, and I'm gonna say Surge are safe. I think Falcons potentially make a change. I think Heretics make a change. I think Breach are going to be safe too because I just don't think they're going to put any money into making a change. Uh, so
Yeah, probably not.
I think Falcons, Heretics, Ravens, Cloud9, and G2. And then if there's a 6th team, I think it would be like the Breach if they're willing to make a change, or Gentlemates if something goes wrong. But I think like 6 or less teams because I'm going to bank on Breach not making a change with their money.
Yeah.
Brad, do you have any other ones? I want to hear Brock's insane one that was so crazy he didn't want to say it.
The only, the only other like crazy, well, the only other one I had written down, which is pretty crazy, was OpTic plays really well in the first major. They're gonna follow the same thing as last year. Play really well in the first major. Struggle. I don't think they're gonna suck like they did last year, but I think they're gonna struggle. And then, unfortunately, I think Huke gets bent over again, and then for me, he's back.
Oh Jesus Christ, that'd be awful. that
I've already
fit.
seen dashing
If that team
formal
would
the
not
same team.
I don't want to say that team would not work, but for the culture, I gotta say for me comes back.
Holy.
I kind of forget because like they did have such a good end, but like I also think it's incredibly likely like if Optic struggles, Hook is just right back out.
Yeah.
Um,
Even
I
though he
don't.
did get his chain.
Yeah, I mean anybody on Optic when they win an event, they get their chain.
Yep.
And he won the event, so he definitely gets
Yeah.
one. Um, I don't know. I think it's like more likely than you think. Like I think it's way more likely Optic makes a roster change than Thieves this year.
Yeah,
100%.
I can agree with that.
Because I just don't think like they're not dropping Hydra or Scrap. I highly doubt they're dropping a BZ. And Kenny is the guy. If they were to drop somebody, it will be Kenny. But again, I think they picked up Kenny for a reason. They want what Kenny brings. So I think
Mhm.
this is a team that is just gonna stick. They're just gonna stick, unless obviously it's like as bad as it was in Optic last year, where they're not winning a map. Like I think that team is sticking. I think Optic's probably sticking, but like anybody that's listening that's like, oh my god, no, they were so godlike last year, they're not making a change. Like, okay, I hear you saying that, and I raise you. How many damn times have they dropped Hook? Like, they love dropping this guy. They're addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're the most likely team of the like top two to make a change. Like, I think they're way more likely than Thieves. You guys agree? Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
and I don't think like they're not dropping Dashy, Merc, or shottzyy. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that any of those guys are playing for any team other than OpTic for the rest of their careers until they retire, probably. Especially, I mean,
Yeah.
Mercury is honestly probably more likely to leave than shottzyy or Dashy. Like shottzyy
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
Dashy are probably they're like formal and Scump. They're pretty much locked in until like the end of the days,
Okay.
unless shottzyy really for some reason somehow can get Dashy out. Like Scump was able to do the formal. I don't know. Like those two are probably never playing for another team for the rest of their careers, most likely.
Yeah.
Just the way OpTic
I mean,
kind of operates.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I can get behind that.
All right, you want to switch to our other segment that I'm actually really excited for? Because
Well, I gotta say my last
oh
one.
yeah, oh yeah, I forgot.
All right. I don't know why I wrote this down, but I just did. I said Snoopy enters the MVP conversation.
I mean, I feel like ability wise, like he obviously it's a bold prediction, but I feel like ability wise, like mechanically, there is like potential to be a top sub there. It's the same thing as Brad's Rencore one though. Like, does the team have enough to close to enough success to like even
And
make that possible? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a bold prediction. You're not saying like, "Oh my god, Snoopy's so good, he's going to be in the MVP race." Like, it's obviously something bold, but like, I don't think it's as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Like, it's wild and very unlikely to happen, but like, I feel like it's less wild than Arcitys was going to win MVP at MW3.
had to believe, or something like that.
That was like not bad. Actually, was that MW3? That might not have been because he was on Surge. It might
That
have
was
been. It might have been MW2 or whatever when he was in
MW2.
LAG.
Yeah, with that roster, won like one game.
Wait, but that wasn't. Was he even on their team to start MW2? Because wasn't that like the slasher gunless that team? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But that was funny.
Oh, I think it was it Vanguard? No, it might have been. What's the NW? No, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I just remember you saying Arcee was gonna like be MVP or some shit. Maybe it might have been actually when he was on Surge.
I would have to go back in my
Because
notes
he was
and
never on
look.
LAG to start a season, was he? I think he was a mid-season pickup. I don't remember.
I can't remember at this point.
I do want to also point out, I don't know if you guys saw this tweet. It's from today at 2:46, but Call of Duty posted saying that Ricochet anti-cheat will be live day one. And then they went into the whole like thing that you have to have ready, the secure boot, the TPM 2.0 plus secure boot. And apparently they have a step-by-step guide and tutorial videos on how to turn it on. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's always a way.
There's always a way, but also I need to figure out how to actually get that all set up because I like changed it all. And when I went on Black Ops 6 like a few weeks ago, it said I still didn't have like secure boot enabled and I would need it enabled for Black Ops 7. And I was like, what? I turned it on, it didn't the exact way they showed you to. I don't know. Do you get
Yeah.
that message, Brock?
I
I
haven't
get
been on COD since really,
because
so
we
I,
played the
I, I honestly don't know.
we played ranked with like Brad and like a few of our friends, like just like a couple games, and I had that thing on the top of my screen. And it was saying like, "Oh, you need to enable secure boot, or like you won't be able to play the new game or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, I have it. I promise. Just let me through. I'm not fucking cheating. Like, just let me through.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. With that, it's an abusive relationship with Call of Duty. I'll believe it when I see it. Uh,
Yep. You're not
uh,
wrong.
All right, I got the roster mania site up. I'm just gonna go like roster by roster here, and that's how we'll end the show. We'll talk about what you think a successful season looks like. Now, I kind of mentioned like what their ceiling is. I don't want to go what their ceiling is. I want to like when you look at the roster, because like Brad may think they have a higher ceiling than I do, or Brock may think they have a higher ceiling than Brad does, depending on the team. So like
Mhm.
what a successful season looks like. Maybe like maybe we could talk about like what you think their floor or ceiling is, depending on the team, if there's something more questionable there to talk about. But I'm just gonna go like in the order of the team show here. So the first team would be Heretics. Like what do you think a successful season looks like for Heretics? Because I can kind of go over what I'm thinking for the segment, but like, so for me, a successful season for Heretics, looking at like what this roster looks like with Super Rancor Trakes and Metals, like I think you've got to repeat what you did last year for it to be successful. I think you've got to. I don't think they're going to be top 4 because I just see 4 teams that I think are better than them. But like, I think for them to consider the season a success, like they've got to be in a pretty consistent top 4 conversation like they were last year.
Yeah.
Because like you didn't get the deal done with Real. You weren't willing to spend and lock that down. Uh, so if it's gonna be really sad to me if Trace is like a stud because it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, damn, Miami, like if you could have just
Could've
had
Had it all.
if you could have had Real on this team, like where he belongs, and Trace is really good at SMG. Obviously, we know Rencor is one of the best flexes in the world, and I think Super is a good main AR, and he's definitely an upgrade over Lucky. Like, I'm
Yeah.
still not like
Yeah.
like completely sold on Super being like a star, but like I think he's a steady, good, solid main AR, and Rencor is a superstar. And then Real and Trace, if Trace is good, like you're looking at a team that could have had a very good argument for top 4, top 3. Like they could have been the third best team in the league
Yeah.
if Real, but Metal's just the ceiling's lower. I think like I don't think they're going to be, but I think for this season to be successful, they need to be consistent top 4 because that's what they're shooting for. Like they were top 4 last year, like, and they retained 3 of their 4 players. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to see that level again, or I would say this is not a success for them.
100%.
What do you think, Brad?
So I agree. I think if they would have kept Real instead of or they would have kept Real and then just inserted Trakes for medals, I think this team could be insane. I think a successful season for them is perennially finishing top 5, top 6. Just because I don't think they know what they have in Trakes yet. And obviously, like I'm higher on Heretics than you guys are. Like I think it would be an exceptional season if they do what they did last year. I think they're going to take a step back, and I think a good year for them is like top 5, top 6, like every single major.
Yeah, I think top 6 at the bare minimum. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the to me that's I think they need to be top 4 for it to be successful. And you know what? I think there are 6 teams that need to be minimum top 4 for the season to be successful, and obviously they all can't be because everybody's not
Yeah.
going to have a successful season. So I don't know. I'm going to be a little more harsh on the teams for the most part. I think just because like I don't know, like if I'm looking at a team like Heretics, like I don't think they're going to be top 4, but like if you're sitting down Rencor, Super Trakes, and Metals, and you're going to be like, what are you going to do this season? Like, obviously, they're going to say, we want to win champs. Like, that's what every team
Right.
is going to say. But, like, I don't know. I think if you were to tell them they were always considered a top 4 team, they'd be like, yeah, that was kind of our goal. Obviously, their goal is to win champs. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. You're the one that's high on them, right? Don't you feel like, I don't think that if they were like the 6th best team all year, I think that would be underperforming for what they could be. For me, I don't know. You might have a different view of them.
I agree with you, but I'm trying to take my bias out of it as far as like from the stupidity of the franchise's standpoint. I mean they're really stupid.
I don't know how you let the best Spanish sub walk out the door on a technicality of a
Exactly.
verbal agreement. I just don't
Yeah, and
like.
I mean it's asinine, truly.
Crazy.
But I think I don't know if they really care if they win that much, to be honest with you, because if they
Yeah.
did care, they would have kept Real. So I think for like them, I think that they a successful season will be like top 6 at the minimum. I think for the players, I think a successful season for them would be to be a top 4 team.
Yeah, and I will say Brock and I have done this kind of exercise a few times. This just for like your like knowledge on it. Brad, it doesn't have to be where you think they'll like whatever we said for Heretics is good, but it can also be like you figure out this player is your franchise guy. You figure out like
Oh,
this, like
okay.
whatever you think is like there are certain teams like I look at Cloud9, like I'm not saying like oh my god a successful season is them finishing in the top 4 because like who knows maybe they do, but like I don't think any of us think that's really a possibility. Like
Right.
so like it may be like, hey, figuring out like if you have a franchise player in this guy, or like it doesn't have to be placement related, just so you know for future teams.
Okay.
Brock, your thoughts on Heretics?
My thoughts, like kind of like you said, no, I want this team to be around top 4, top 5. I wanted to compete with the top teams again like last year for the most part, and not when they're playing the Thieves or OpTic kind of get dog walked.
Mhm.
That's why I'm kind of thinking.
So we're all for the most part on the same page. Like they need to be top
Mhm.
5-ish, that range, like pretty
Hmm.
consistently to be considered a successful year. I know there's a little
Yeah,
Yeah.
variability. I was saying 4, you were saying kind of 5, Brad was saying 6, but like for the most part, they need to be a top half of the league team, pretty much wire to wire at the very least.
yeah.
I
It sucks,
mean,
they let their best player go, or not their best player, but their
yeah,
best sub go. And, and they're actually beating FaZe and on Thieves and OpTic here and there when it
yeah,
kind of mattered most sometimes. So
Mhm.
that just sucks for them.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Our next team up is pretty straightforward to me. Up on the top right here of the screen, if you guys are watching, it's OpTic. I mean, a successful season is repeating, winning. Again, like when I say successful, like if they don't win a single major and they win champs, everybody for any team on this entire list, if you don't win a single major and you win champs, everybody's going to consider it successful because you won champs, just like
Yep.
happened with
Mhm.
OpTic last year. But I'd say like a successful season for them looks like winning multiple events, including champs. Like anything less than winning
Mhm.
at least one major and champs for this OpTic roster won't be considered successful. If they win one major and don't win champs, it's not going to be a very successful season. Like this team's goal is champs or nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we can.
Going
I don't
back.
even know if we need to talk about this team any further. You guys, I would assume you guys agree with that. Like,
I
I
would
would
like to
agree.
add a little piece.
what's that?
Um, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, but I also think that a successful season for them would be for Mercules to still be really good, and not like the 1 year wonder,
Yeah,
like how
that's
we're having
true.
questions about Neptune. So if Mercules continues to play insane and OpTic can say, yeah, this guy is like the real deal. He's not a one hit wonder. He's going to be good for a really long time. I also think that's a success in OpTic size as well.
One, it's so
On
nice.
top of all the winning, on top of all the
Well,
winning.
and it's nice when you're OpTic and you get a guy like if Mercules continues his insane level of play that he had last year. You
Mhm.
basically know, like, okay, well, we have Mercules until he's either not good anymore or we don't really want him because, like, OpTic has a unique position in COD where, like, unless you're insane, you're never leaving them. Because A, you're always going to be able
Yeah.
to get the best players to play with if you're on OpTic. B, it's probably the best in terms of being a player. You probably have the most resources. And C, it's the best chance to prolong your career in esports because you can get a lot of notoriety and content that you otherwise can't get at a lot of
Yep.
organizations. Like you can become the face of COD and become a streamer, become a content creator, like whatever you want after that. So like if Mercules ends up being good, he's basically OpTic for life, probably. Like, not if he ends
Mhm.
up being
Yep.
good. He obviously we know he's good, but if he shows this crazy level of MVP type play again this year, I think we're all
Hmm.
in agreement. I think we're all going to say the same thing about the next team, like LAT. It's champs and multiple event wins or bust for them. Like,
Champs are
yeah,
nothing.
anything other than that is that's what success looks like for LAT this year.
You
Winning at
bring a
least one major
BC.
and champs. Like
Yeah. At least.
anything less than that
Uh,
is these, in my opinion, these are the only two teams that have that expectation. Because everybody
yeah.
else is a longer shot at champs. But these two teams, if you don't win champ, like one of these teams is gonna have a year that they don't deem too successful because one of them's not winning champs. At least, maybe both of them. But like
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is the same as OpTic, exact same thing. Like if they don't win champs in multiple events, they're like it's gonna be considered failure or not
I
successful,
Hmm.
have
I
a
guess.
question
Scrap me that
because
ring.
Yeah.
in my head, like, I don't think okay. How do I say this without sounding stupid? Um, I don't know if the Thieves really necessarily care about winning a major. I think all of their success is hinging on winning champs.
Yes. Well, I mean
Personally,
that's ever. I mean, if you asked any player in
I
the,
mean,
this
yeah,
this debate happened last year, and people were like saying, "Oh, well, like majors, a certain amount of majors do hold weight," and that is so cap because if you ask any pro player who has any like
Yep.
think about, I'm trying to think like Brock, like who are some guys that have a lot of wins and no ring? Like, I mean, Scrap is an example right now. If you ask Scrap if he would trade every major when he has for a ring, I bet he'd say yes in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of players out there, like, I don't know, like, even Cammy has a few, event wins or like has been to some finals and stuff, or like Vance. Vance has a bunch of European event wins. He has 2 seconds at champs. If you ask Vance, he could trade all those European wins and everything in for one of those 2 rings that he came up in second. He'd be yeah in a heartbeat. Like
Yep.
I think any player of notoriety that has a lot of wins, Nate Shot. Nate Shot has like what 7 or 8 wins,
Mm-hmm.
no ring. He'd probably trade all those wins in a heartbeat for a ring. Like
Yep.
so, yeah, I agree,
Fun
Brad. I know
list.
what you're saying. It's such a weird conversation because, like, when you say that, it makes it seem like majors don't matter, but they definitely do.
Mhm.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
they do.
if there's a guy with 3 rings and those are his only 3 championships, like, he's gonna have a crazy legacy of like, oh my god, is that guy? He's just a big game player, but like,
Yeah.
also like, he's never gonna be remotely close to the shottzyy Crim conversation because he has no other wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, think about a guy like Assault. He has 1 win and it's a champs, and he has an MVP, and like he's forever legendary because of that. But like, he's not talked about in top all time lists because he has no other win. So majors do matter, but obviously, like it's the same. It's hard to compare to any sport because we don't really like none of the sports that we watch really have anything like a major. Because like a playoff win in like football doesn't really equate to a major win. Major win, I would say, is bigger, than
Yep.
like winning a major in
What
COD
about
compared to winning like a wild card playoff game in football. Like the major is viewed higher in the COD community than winning a wild card football game is in the football community.
I'd compare like really. I think it correlates really well with like an AFC NFC championship and like a pennant in baseball.
Yeah, so like winning your conference, yeah, I don't know. It's just hard
Yeah,
because there just isn't anything like a major in like
right.
in our sports, North American sports that we watch. I feel like the closest you get is people say like soccer cups and stuff, and Brock would know more about that than
True. The FA Cup.
yeah, like because
There's a
Brock,
lot of stuff.
yeah, there's like a lot. I feel like it would be
I
something
don't even know
similar
all
like
of
that.
them.
You know what I mean? Like that's probably the closest you get.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah,
little cups
probably.
you can
Yeah.
win in soccer. But I don't know enough about soccer to talk on that. Brock would be the closest we got. Brock's our soccer guy.
World Cup next year.
Yeah. But are we all in agreement we can move on from Thieves? It's championship or bust.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Bunch of wins this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's where we get interesting.
Ooh.
Phase is next. We got a lot of the top teams that are just happen to be on the top of this list. Phase, I think again, minimum they got to be wire to wire top 4. And I'll say an event
Yeah.
win. I think they have to have an event win in top 4 for the season to be considered a success. Because again, like, are
I
they
like
the
that.
favorite to win any event? No, they're at best third behind OpTic and
Yeah.
Thieves. But like, I think they assembled this team to continue to just try to compete. And they grabbed 2 guys that were in the champs final, and they have Draza and Simp who have won a ton of events together. Like, this team is looking to win at least an event and be consistent top 4. I think that's a successful season. Like, they got to win an event.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree,
Uh,
especially with like the phase culture of like I mean, since the
Winning
CDL
culture.
has really started, yeah, they have such an established winning culture, especially with Simp still being there. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think winning and being a top 4 team is a must in order for the season to be a success for phase.
I like
Brock?
it. For me, I would more say this team be the third best team in my eyes. They would want to be,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
and event win. I would hope. I would hope so because they've got Simp. Got some good players. They got Booza, Simp L4, Jaza. I just feel like if they don't win at all this year, I just something in my stomach's telling me that Jaza's just he's off the team.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
necessarily
probably.
know. I don't know that Simp wanted to play with him again this year, to be honest. Something tells me that.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
the best they could get
I feel like Brock and I have forever questionable intel on the Draza relationship situation.
from the.
We've seen some stuff in person, probably not to
Oh
be
yeah,
talked on air because I don't want to air people's stuff out. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like we have a little intel on that. But like I agree, Brock. I don't. I think if this team doesn't, to be honest, win champs, because if you win like major 2, but then the rest of the year you don't win anything, it's always like you're probably going to make a change.
yeah.
Like I feel like this team does change, but I feel like there's a world where like '04 Abuza draw or like '04 Abuza Simp becomes like a little bit of a trio, and they maybe pick up a new flex at the end of the year if like a really good one's available. But
I can see it.
I think that there's a potential they become kind of like a little bit of a trio, or I mean, like there's a blinking red light in my head that's like you probably shouldn't say this, but I think like Simp and Green after next season makes a lot of sense as well.
Which
Yeah.
green?
Green as an optic because
Yeah.
I think if optic doesn't win champs, I would if optic does not win champs last year or next year, I think there is about 100% chance that Hook's not on the team. Like
Yeah,
I don't
I agree with that.
if they don't win champs, I think Hook will be off the team, and the replacements are Simp, Beezy, or Hydra. One of those
God
three
Yep.
guys.
damn.
One of those
Yeah,
three
Simp's
guys
the
will
I'm
be
not
man.
gonna lie to you.
Simp and Hydra being, in my
I,
opinion, the best fits with shottzyy more than a Beezy.
oh,
What are you gonna say? I think Simp also because Simp
uh,
I think wants the content game the most.
Yep.
true. I was gonna say a BZ. Can you imagine the head bashing Shotzzy and a BZ would do?
I
That'd be
would
that'd be pure entertainment.
I would have to check with people, but I think a Beezy in terms of contract wise would be the toughest one to get there though. I think.
Probably.
I could be wrong, but I think Hydra will be on an expiring deal, and I think Simp will be on an expiring deal. Again, I could be wrong there, but I think a BZ is not on an expiring deal. I can try to
Hmm.
confirm, but I don't think a BZ's on an expiring deal. So I think he's the toughest one to get there. And in this climate, it's hard for people to want to spend a lot of money to get players when they could get like when Simp and Hydra could potentially just be signed to a contract. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that should have been one of my bold predictions. I think Simp or Hydra will be in green next year instead of Hook. Uh,
Didn't Hydra want to play for Optic?
I think maybe at one point, yes, like they wanted him, but they decided against it. Um, our next team, though, on the list, there's a lot of good teams in the beginning here. Ultra.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go away from the placing thing because I think this is the exact same as FaZe. I think they need to be third or fourth best team and
Yeah.
win an event for it to be considered successful. But for me, I'm gonna say like, can you establish that the Real Joe Kleenex trio can be your trio to build around? Like, is Kleenex a really good flex or
Mhm.
not? Because when I look at this trio in terms of like outside, like having like the big guns of Easy, Hydra, Simp, Scrap, Mercury, shottzyy, Dashy, like the consistent guys that are always in the best teams. Like this trio has a lot of talent. Like Real Joe is a
Yeah.
lot of talent. Kleenex, we haven't seen him on a flex, but again, Kleenex is always a top 10 player basically. So like, I think he's going to make a good flex. I think they have to win an event for this year to be successful, but I'm more going on the path of like, is this trio your trio? And like next year, I don't know who the crop of main ARs are out there, but like Rancor is a free agent. Can you kind of convince him to come be a main? Like he's got the Real connection there because like I know look at Brad's face, but like, can you imagine Rancor being on this team instead of Insight? Oh my
I would
god,
love that.
Oh my god.
I'd be saying they're no doubt third, if not better.
Yeah.
Like they're no doubt third. Even like just some of the other upgrades you could get. Like what if Draws is a free agent? He wants to be the main there. That's
Yeah.
nasty. Like I don't know. Like some other guys in this list, obviously, like I don't think like Dashy would be going anywhere. Scrap, but like even if Kenny were to become a free agent and go there as the main, I like the way that looks a lot. Like
Hmm.
a guy like Ghosty or Sib, what if they were to go there and be the main? Like, so I think they need to establish if this trio is the future, so they can kind of build around them and like replace Insight after this year. Because I like Insight. I think he's a good player. I think they can win with him this year. But like, if they want to take their ceiling to the next level, I think they need to get like a star main AR and go all in because
Yeah.
this trio is about as good as it gets outside of the normal teams, OpTic, FaZe, Thieves that have the good teams. This is about as good as it gets for a trio.
Yeah. Better
Yeah.
than last year than what they had.
Yeah, they
That's for
were a
sure.
pretty consistently good team last year. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right,
Top
what do you
four.
guys think? Or in terms of what do they need to be successful?
For Ultra, is Joe under contract still after this year?
I don't believe so. But again, I'm not sure.
Because if he's not, then you gotta give him a bag to stay. That's for damn sure. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's going to some other team up
Yeah.
up here. I would like to see Kleenex, be more consistent in the flex AR role this year. He usually struggles from time to time, with the sub, I'd like to be more consistently like a Slayer this year, and he can be really fast. That's for sure.
Yeah. Are you kind of in the same boat, like in terms of like their actual team success? Like, I think they need to win an event for it to be successful. Because again, this team is built to compete. Like right now, they're built as one of the top teams. I think they have
Yeah.
to win an event.
Yeah, they definitely have a shot at it
Right? What you think?
against some of the other teams.
I agree with you all the way as far as saying that I think Ultra have similar expectations to that of FaZe.
Mhm.
Because I think both these teams are honestly very similar as far as like Clenix and Insight have been there for a long time, kind of like Simp has been there a long time. Simp has established a winning culture there, and I almost said Atlanta FaZe, but with FaZe. And then Clenix and Insight also have very much established that they're winners over there in with Ultra. And I think the big thing with this is to see how Riel and Joe mesh. Like you said, with like the trio, and see if this is the trio of the future. I think it's more of if Riel, because I think Joe is the cornerstone of this team, as everybody should think that. So like Brock said, bag him, give him the bag, and then I think they're the real test to see if this team, for a successful season, is if Riel and Jill mesh really well and can just be one of the best sub duos in the game.
I agree. I think a lot hinges on
Okay.
that trio, kind of just like
Yeah.
becoming who we think they can become. Yeah, I agree. Oh man, we got Falcons up next. Now we can maybe go through these next teams faster, just because we're kind of through like the top dogs, except for maybe one more.
Yeah.
If you see these two teams down here, it's annoying. Ravens, obviously, they have Lurks, Nero, and Craze. Those people just don't exist on this roster mania site. And then Cloud9, Vivid, and Mac just don't exist for some reason. So they should be on Cloud9. But our
Yeah.
next team is Falcons. And again, I think like we're into the territory of like these teams could be anywhere from like 5th to 12th. Like any of these
Yeah.
teams could probably finish
Yeah.
anywhere. For me, I think a successful season for Falcons, if in a perfect world, Exnid steps into his own as a player, and like because I think in a perfect world, if I were running Falcons, I want Exnid to be my franchise player because like he represents the region. Like he came in with the original team.
Mhm.
They are now the Riyadh Falcons. They're representing Saudi Arabia. Like
Mhm.
in a perfect world, he is your superstar or your franchise player. Obviously, like it's more likely that Pred or Celium or both are that player. But like if I'm the GM of the Falcons or like the owner of the Falcons, the perfect world is that Exnid becomes a star. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
branding wise, that's what I want. So in a perfect world, I think a successful season is like Pred, Celium, Exnid establish himself. If Kismet's the fourth and for the future, great. If this team's awesome, great. I think truly like the perfect world is Exnid. A more realistic, successful season for them is Celium and Pred build the hell out of their stock and they position themselves to be in a good spot contract wise and they just show that they're a great organization to play for because we know they can pay more than anyone. So position yourselves
Mhm.
to be in a good standing within the community for next offseason because I think there might be a little bit more free agents on the board and you can chuck the bag at them and make this team.
Yep.
Because we started to see him do it a little bit, getting, Celium over to the team this year, and the rumors of what he got are insane.
Wait, I haven't heard these rumors.
7 figures is the rumors.
A lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Which obviously we know in terms of COD money is insane.
Oh my god.
A bag is what Cell got. A bag is the rumor. Who
That
knows? It
is
could either way. He got a lot of money. Even if it's not that, he got a lot of money.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, position yourselves. Obviously, like money talks. These players are going to take that big contract, but like establish yourself as an organization that these players are talking highly of. Because like I don't think Falcons realistically is winning anything this year. Well, you got to establish yourself as a respected organization. So when that money comes, people are going to be like, Falcons are the place I want to go. Because realistically, Falcons are the only team that has the ability to attract people potentially like over OpTic. Obviously, we know FaZe did with Draza, that aged like milk. His OpTic has won every
Yeah.
champs since Draza decided to go to FaZe.
Unlucky.
Yeah, but Falcons are the one team that could poach people from OpTic because, like, again, like somebody who doesn't care about content getting offered 7 figures by Falcons is taking the Falcons offer over OpTic.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think for Falcons' successful year?
Um,
Go.
yeah, I'll go. I mean, I don't think they'll finish last. That's an upgrade from last year with these
True.
talented players they got now
Yeah.
from last year. I kind of want to see how Celium plays without Simp and BZ for the first time and
Yeah.
see how he adjust. And kind of like
Yeah.
you said, Pred be that Slayer, Extended maybe he can slay too, but maybe being more like the objective with Kisman and like that, and building the team chemistry. Maybe who knows, they go far.
Yeah. Kind of like a building year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Brad?
I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. Like your take is exactly what my take was gonna be. I think for a successful season for the Falcons, Xnid proves that he can be a guy on this team and he can
Yeah.
be a guy in the league
Mhm.
because the Falcons really emphasized, bringing in the Saudi team, and he's the last one standing on that team. But I mean, let's be honest, the players that they have now are worlds above what they had. And I think that this is a really big moment for Exton. I think he needs to take this moment and really just run with it because I mean, Pred, Selim, and Kismet are all talented players. They've all won, and I think Exton is the X factor here. I've said that multiple times. I'm sorry, but I think Exton needs to develop, and I think if he develops, that's a win for the Falcons because
Yeah.
they want to keep at least probably one Saudi player on the team at all times.
Yeah.
And if Exton can prove that he can be that homegrown talent, if you will, I think that's a massive W for the Falcons. At least in their eyes.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And I would say, and if you can't do it, then we got to get King of Body back on the
King of
team.
Body. We gotta get not Rockchess. Who was the other dude? Who's the dude that had like the numbers? I can't think of his name. Kicks.
Hecz, his
Yeah.
Hecz.
Kicks, who like still it's so funny when you look at like the stats from last year. He was the league leader in AD.
Yeah.
But he just like never played. All right, our next team is an interesting one. Seattle Surge. Sorry, Vancouver Surge. Um, Again, I'm not going anywhere with team success. I think to me, it's a successful season is having a good grasp on who your franchise players are. Because this is a team that truly people may say, I don't know about like one of the players in the team. But this is a team that has 4 potential franchise players at their position. Like
Mhm.
I don't necessarily, again, like Lunars is definitely the one that's like, hey, is he? Because we saw him struggle last year. But again, I'm taking the LAG stuff with a grain of salt. Like a successful season is coming out either being like, wow, this is our 4th. Like this is our team we want to go into next year with because they grew a lot. Because I think this is a low budget team. I think they're not paying a lot. They would have kept some of their players from last year, if they were paying more. They probably would have kept like Neptune, Abuza, 04 at the least. Maybe even Neptune, they would have kept all 4 with just how well they played together. But I think a successful season is coming out of this year being like, okay, we're just going to keep the SMG duo of Gwen and Abe. Legend, the transition didn't really work out. Lunars, you kind of struggled again, but we have our sub duo. Or all 4. Or
Mhm.
maybe Legend is just your franchise player and the other 3 just don't really work. Like a successful season is figuring out what your core is out of these because you have 4 talented players. You just got to figure out where you move forward with it. And also,
Yeah.
pay up and lock them down. Like lock down the players who you just established as your franchise players. Because the fact that they let 04, Abuza, Nasty,
Go.
and Neptune all out the door for nothing is insane.
Yeah.
Like, are we trying?
Hmm. I mean, who knows if they come out of nowhere?
Yeah.
For me, I would say have Legend be that franchise superstar player, and you can build around that. And Gwyn, he's definitely very very talented. Just sometimes the game doesn't come to him per se.
Yeah.
I think about just build about around those two if don't have the best season, but kind of like you said,
You just got to figure out who your guys are, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I think a win for the Surge this year would just to be develop these young guys because every single one of them is either inexperienced or just super young. And I do think that they're going to take a little bit of that team success, and if they get a couple top sixes, top fives, and then maybe like a top four and nothing else, like I think the main piece is to develop these young guys, and I think they're gonna correlate that with success. So if they have if they're a top six team, I think that's a massive W, and I think that will be able to tell like who their cornerstones are, and I think that's the whole point of this year is like you invested heavily in these young guys, these young talented guys, and if you can develop them, you'll be able to find out like who that cornerstone is. Very similar to what you guys said, just with different wording. But yeah.
Yeah. Breach, man. Breacher up next.
Yeah, they upgraded.
They did upgrade. Yes, they technically did. Awakening to nasty. Successful season. Don't bore me. I don't know. Like they're just like so boring because they're not bad, but they're also like their ceiling
Okay.
is so limited. Like a successful season for them is do what you did last year. Like pull off some upsets,
Really?
make champs, make a run. Because like again, if you would have told any of us that Breach were going to finish third at champs last year, we would have been like, "Wow, what a year on Breach!" Like
Mm-hmm.
before the season. Again, it's do what you did last year. Be that team that's consistently showing up, pulling off upsets, and making champs. Like making champs successful for them, for me.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't even say like find a franchise player because again, like maybe Snoopy and like I don't consider Nasty to be a guy that's like a franchise player. He's like a nice piece, but like
Yeah.
he's not a. I don't know. Like find out if Snoopy can continue to be your guy, but like make champs. That's successful for me.
Same. You make champs like you did last year. You
Yeah.
technically upgraded,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I
and
just
if please, if Cammy you can't shoot, just time to go.
they're just this team is just I'm so bored. I'm just bored. I'm ready to move on. Brad, say your piece. Move on.
To say
Make
make champs.
champs.
Yeah,
Yeah, make champs.
yeah.
Bring back Cold War Cammy.
Because we have some exciting teams to talk about. I'm excited to talk about Ravens. Slasher's last hurrah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Craze. I'm excited to see what Lurks can do. I'm excited to see what Nero can do in a flex role, if that is the case. I think it's pretty simple. This team, do whatever you can to showcase Craze and Lurks. It's a
Yep.
successful season if those two look like a star SMG duo because they probably have them under control for 2 years. So, this season is all about if Lurks and Craze can be successful. And if those two look really good, you can maybe establish like you can attract other, AR flex players to come join them and create a good team. This season's all about Craze and Lurks. Uh, how good can they be?
Mhm.
Because you're only going to have them for 2
Right.
years because we know the Ravens don't pay. So if they are good, somebody's poaching them. So you got to take advantage of this 1 or 2 years you have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slasher will be Slasher, and Nero on a flex roll this year. Hopefully,
Yeah.
he's very fast. Want to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might be just what he needs to slow him down just a little bit and find that consistency.
He's always been a shooter. He can shoot his gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
He'll shoot his gun, and then the next map he'll have like he go 12 and 50, 12
Yeah.
Chase
15,
bodies.
or 12 and double neg, I should say.
yeah. All right. G2.
Finding the balance.
I feel like of our kind of bottom teams we're talking about, this team it's a complete failure if they don't make champs. Because like again, this
Yeah,
team,
good
like,
player.
do I think they're amazing and do I think they're gonna make champs? I'm not really sure about that. I haven't made those predictions. We haven't made those predictions yet. I'm not too sure. But like you picked up the highest touted challengers AR in Mamba. You picked up a world
Mhm.
champion AR who had a down year last year, but is coming off back-to-back champs finals 2 years before that, and has always been a good player in Skies. And you have Estriel and Kremp, who are pretty much considered like, middle of the pack, solid SMGs. So like you've got a team on paper that like you don't assemble this team as like a rebuilding year. Like this is a team that you're trying to make champs with. To establish good
Yep.
SMGs, a world champion AR, and the highest regarded challengers AR from last year in Mamba. Like if this team isn't making champs, and honestly, I would say for this team, again, I'm not saying I think they're going to because I don't think they are, but like if this team isn't pushing top 6, I think it's kind of a failure. Like if they're
Like
not
it.
pushing to be in the top 6 conversation. Because this
Right.
team has more established players on it. Sky's Estrio Cramp. These guys are not playing for 11th place. Like,
Yeah,
they need to be on a team
True.
that's pushing for the top 6 spot.
100%. Have Mamba go crazy, be that star-studded
Yeah.
flex player.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Agree or you think
I
something
think
else?
I agree with you. But I also think G2 would see this season as a success if like Mamba like is a superstar, like an established superstar, because then they know because like G2 very much like the Ravens, I feel like they're not gonna pay a lot. And so like if
Yeah.
they found their one of their guys in Mamba, the guy that they can build around, I think that's a win for them because they know going into next year, like they have a guy
Yeah.
and then they can kind of build around.
I
I think that's what's gonna mark more of a success for G2 than maybe like obviously, yeah, the players they want to win, but I think as the franchise, like I think they're looking at Mamba and they're like, please be a guy.
I could be wrong here, but I believe G2 and other esports has potentially spent a little bit more money, maybe
Mhm.
not the top dollar, but put a little bit better teams on the table.
Yeah,
So there is maybe a world where they are more willing to spend than a team like Ravens, obviously, who's like the bare minimum.
right.
But I could be wrong with
Yeah.
that again. I'm not sure. I remember G2 trying to get a COD roster back in BO4 and end up
hmm
making the league, but I do remember that. Um, Cloud9, boys.
Holy.
I I don't think
Great
you
team.
can I don't think you can go down the route of like find a franchise player because like we've been there, done that with all these guys. Like we've seen Afro, we've
They're
seen
all
Vivid and
recycled.
Mac, we've seen Beans. Like I don't think any of these guys are obviously superstars on their team. Again, like especially Vivid, Mac, and Beans. There's a world where these guys are glue guys on a really good team. But like I think a successful season for them is find a way to make champs. Like kind of like the breach. Like
Yeah.
find a way to make champs. Like it's not impossible for them. Like
Mm-mm.
it's a group of veteran guys and they can be solid players. Find a way to make champs. And I feel like that's a pretty successful year because I would say if you pull 100 CDL fans, 99 of them are picking this team to miss champs. So their goal is just to make champs and see if you can make a breach run last year.
Yeah.
hmm I would say, yeah, make champs. Most of these guys are this could be their last chance, so they gotta play
Yeah,
True.
good if you want to stay in
it
the league.
it could be the last leg. I would say for everybody, 100% is the last chance, except maybe Beans. But
Yeah,
like Vivid, specifically Vivid Mac Afro, like Vivid has been on like 7 CDL teams at this point.
a lot of them.
Like Mac has
Yeah.
been, back and forth in the league. Afro has been out for a few years and is now back. Like I feel like this is probably Beans. It might be his last chance too, but like probably the last hurrah for at least 3 of these guys and potentially Beans. So yeah, like you gotta find a way to get something done here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like you said, just kind of be that Boston Breach team. Boring, but I guess it'll work.
Yeah, we got a fun team to end on though. That is the Brock, the
First
LA
place team.
Brocks, the Gentlemates. This goes back into the category of ultra base, in my opinion, straight into that category of
Yep.
win an event, be consistent top 4. Because I don't
Yep.
think this team again, like there is when we look at these teams, there is a level of team. There is OpTic and Thieves. They are in the level of favorite. Like champs or boss, basically, like those are your favorites. And then there is a level right below it that I would say is like phase, ultra, gentlemates, and maybe heretics. I would kind of loop in there where it's like you are looking to be top 4 and win an event. Heretics maybe a little bit more on the fringe of that, but still kind of in that range. And then there are like your upset potential teams, which and gentlemates are in that group too. Sorry, gentlemates are in that group of like you want to be top 4 and win an event, along with phase and ultra, and then maybe heretics thrown in there, and then like your hey, we've got some potential stars. Like, can we mess around and get into the top team conversation? I feel like that's like Falcons and Surge, and then you've got your like G2, who's maybe like, yeah, we got some vets. Can we mess around and like be good? And then you've got your wild cards, so like Breach, Ravens, Cloud9. who are like, yeah, we kind of suck, but like, let's see if we can make champs. I don't
Let's
know.
do
I
something.
feel like those are fair tiers in a nutshell, like quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, gentlemates are in that group of like, hey, if we don't win an event and are consistently a top 4 team, like, it's kind of a fail for us.
hmm
Anything different on those two teams, or you guys agree there?
I
Agree.
agree. Mhm.
That's all we got for these teams. I feel like it's funny because I always like when like I like that Brad thinks that the heretics are amazing, and I like when Brad has different takes because Brock and I have been playing and watching COD together and kind of think about the game the same way. And
Yeah,
like
we're all
for a long time. So I feel like it's fun when Brad comes in and has like a take that disagrees because like Brock and I will like he'll be a little higher on a player or a team and I maybe won't be as high and like we'll do rankings. We won't talk to each other about the teams at all and we'll do rankings and like we will rank the standings for the year and like last year I think we had like 2 teams different. We had like 10 teams in the exact same
Yeah.
spot. We flipped 2 teams in the middle somewhere. Like
Yeah.
we kind of have the same opinions a lot of the times on players and teams. So I think it's kind of fun when Brad gets in and he's like, "Oh, this guy sucks," or like, "I really like this team," or because
Abusa
yeah, a lot of times Brock and I are like,
buttons.
we get a player like Joe and Brock and I are like, "This guy's next up," and we were very right on that one. And like, I don't know, we
We were
think a
indeed.
lot the same way because we've been playing competitive COD and watching it together forever. So
Yeah.
it is. I'm interested to see. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with this process. It's gonna be really hard. I also don't want to be like, "Hey, Brock, you're moving this week. You want to sit down and commit 4 hours to reacting to the process?" Because like, moving sucks. I've moved like every year for the last 4 years. You have a lot to do when you're moving. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's tough. But like,
I'll see what I
it's
can do.
yeah. I don't think we're gonna be reacting to the process for sure tomorrow. And if we do, it'll have to be in a live stream because that's just the form. It would be in a live stream and then it would be uploaded as a VOD, like just already on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like it would be in a live stream. I There's like a season documentary we could react to next week, like Breaking Point. And that's an hour long, so it's a lot more like it'd be like a normal podcast length. It'd be like an hour, 15 minutes or whatever. If
Cool.
we reacted to that. It's like all the highlights of last year.
Mhm.
So I think maybe we could react to that next week, and then after that it would be like predictions, and then or like the next week would be like our season predictions, and then the week after that we'd be predicting matches, like Thanksgiving week. We'd be predicting matches
Yeah.
already. So we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully, if Brock's all set up, he can maybe stream his camo grind. I think Brock's POV is going to be a lot more fun than mine. I feel like Brock plays faster. Brock's got a snappier POV than me too. I like if you compare Brock and I. Brock's got like the BZ POV. I have more of like a Fred POV. I play a little slower than Brock. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I,
I would say
Brock
so.
plays Brock plays more crack than I do. Brock's got probably a more fun POV to watch, I would say.
We need the Brad POV.
Brad's POV is it's just different. It's different.
It's different, doesn't it?
He's
It's
him.
it's not as bad as some people out there are probably thinking. Brad
Imagine
is
Rancor and Scump have a baby. That's me.
maybe like I don't even know what players to pick. And
Big Wake
Ruiz.
when he's bad.
That's a pull.
But yeah, if Brock's able to get it all set up, we'll get him live for the camo grind. But yeah, next week might be the reaction to that season long. We'll maybe do our predictions, like because let me look at the calendar here because the first matches are December 5th. So
Yeah.
like we got the 17th. We could do like a reaction, talk about the process, and then react to the season long highlights, which would be kind of fun. I think it'd be fun to react to. Breaking Point uploaded the documentary of like the highlights of the year. I think that'd be really fun to react to. It's like all the highlights of last season and the best moments.
yeah.
That would be fun.
Like an hour long. It's like a little mini documentary of the season. That'd be fun to react to. And then the 24th, we could do our season predictions, like the standings,
Like that.
where everybody's going to finish in the standings. And then the first, it's prediction time because there's matches that week.
Yeah.
So next week, probably
Mhm.
some sort of reaction unless we have something else to come out. Week after, season long predictions. Week after, talking all about the matches. So that's kind of our tentative schedule for those of you that are always wondering, because this time of year it's question. And then it is just pure bliss from December. Honestly, from here on out, terms of doing the pod, it's pure bliss because it's just matches every week, pretty much. Like COD to talk about and like what we do it for.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm excited for that. But if you guys enjoy, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're on the audio platforms, drop a follow, drop a 5-star review. You've got our tentative schedule, so you'll see us for the next 3 weeks on that. Hopefully, you'll see us. I don't know if any of us will be streaming our POV, like besides Brock if he's doing it, but you'll probably hear us all at least on in the Discord, in voice, on the stream. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.